All right, guys, welcome back. And yes, you're hearing from me twice in the same day on the exact same topic. For those who tuned in earlier, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I did this at 2 a.m. I did not check the mic. I set it. I loaded it to be premiered. I went to bed. I woke up right before the premiere, and boom. What a mess. What a mess. For 10,000 subscribers, it's unacceptable, and I apologize. But I do want to tell you guys thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate every one of you guys. We just hit 10,000 subscribers to the channel. Something I didn't think would happen this fast. I questioned completely, but you guys have been such a supportive community. This is not a sponsored channel, so I don't do a lot of giveaways like a lot of other places do. I realize I need to get sponsored. I need to do that. It's just taking things in the right steps at the right time. But I want to say thank you to you guys. So we are going to do a jersey giveaway. It's going to end. So what you need to do is just like this video, comment down below. You got to comment whatever you want to comment on the draft, on free agency, whatever. Just put your comment in there. You've got to be subscribed to the channel. And then when free agency hits, the first player that we sign to a big contract in free agency, because they've said we're going to go big game hunting this year, the first one that signs, we're going to give that jersey away. Or if you guys want Caleb Williams, we'll give you Caleb Williams. Or if you want somebody else, if you want to wait till the draft to get the first overall pick, our first round pick this year, you can do that too. I'm going to have to communicate with you through Twitter. So hit me up on Twitter if you're the winner, but I will announce it right after the first big signing in free agency. So I'll contact one of you guys. It'll be a random drawing, and I just want to do that as my appreciation to you guys for tuning into this channel. 10,000 subscribers is not a little deal to me. It is a huge deal, and I appreciate you guys being a part of it. And I know this is the prime time we get going, the draft, free agency, all that. You guys, the insights that we have from the salary cap to roster construction, just want to say thank you. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. And apologies for the mic. Got it fixed. My bad. I'll try not to do it again. So that one has been taken down. I'm going to run through this quick for those who saw it earlier. I'm going to short, sweet, condense it. Priority is going to be thank you for the 10,000 subscribers. And then Eric Bieniemy's here. I know a lot of you are having a hard time with the Eric Bieniemy thing. They say he didn't call the plays in Kansas City. Well, that's true, but he came through the tree and he went through the same group and he worked with Adrian Peterson in Minnesota, did a lot of good things there. And then in Washington, I do not blame him for what happened in Washington. I do see Rivera as the problem there. Eric Bieniemy is highly regarded. Many thought he would be a head coach, so I like that he's here. You don't have to like that he's here. Not taking that away from any of you guys. Let's see what he does, though. What I did want to do with this draft, though, is we've had so many people in Bears fan base say they want to take a running back round one. They want to be able to have that thunder and lightning punch that Ben Johnson likes to use his running backs. Eric Bieniemy's here. That's a big deal. He's, as far as a running back coach is concerned, you should understand that he is a big name as far as just being a running back coach. It's an overhire for him. So he's very well known for some of the running backs he's worked with. Maurice Jones-Drew, for one. Adrian Peterson, probably the biggest one. And there's a couple running backs in this class. And I just want to point out, I do not believe Ashton Jeanty. I know you guys have heard it from me. You don't have to agree with me. But he does not move laterally in the NFL the way you need to move to be a successful NFL running back. He does run downhill. He can run some guys over. But that's not what you're seeing on tape if you watched him in college. He's breaking a lot of arm tackles. He's going to get wrapped up by some NFL-sized linebackers. He's going to be averaging 4-ish yards a game. Probably going to be that 1,000-yard rusher, but he's not going to come into the league and dominate like Derrick Henry. I do see someone. There's a handful, guys. So I'm going to take a running back in the first round. Those who saw it earlier already know the spoiler alert on it, but there's several running backs in this class. I think there could be 3 that go in the first round. I really do. But there's several that I would take ahead of Ashton Jeanty. I do have Omarion Hampton as my number 1 running back because his comp to me is Adrian Peterson. I really see it that way. You don't have to see it that way. I see it that way. Travion Henderson, Caleb Johnson, even Dylan Sampson later. I mean, there's so many. We did a whole video on the running backs in this class. It's deep, so we don't have to take one first round. I made this video to point out it's possible. You're going to sacrifice some other areas, though. You're not going to take Tyler Booker in the first round if you do that. And then with the buzz yesterday about the draft the trade that happened between Luka Doncic and the NBA, things can always happen all the time. Well, yesterday, the same time, it came out that Trey Hendrickson also wants a trade again. We went through this last year. I did the Trey Hendrickson video last year. I can post that on here so you guys can see it. They ended up saying, nah, Nah, we ain't going to trade you. That's not happening. You're here. He rode out the season and had another spectacular season. Spectacular season for him. So he's only 29 years old. 3-year contract would be, this is the prime of his career. He's not slowing down. He's a beast still. He's one of the top 3 defensive ends in the NFL, in my opinion. I don't think many would dispute that either. So the article from Bengals Wire, they're realizing he's gone. We're going to trade him. We don't have the salary cap to fix, to sign T. Higgins and Jamar Chase long term and all these guys long term. We don't have. I realize he already has a contract, but to have all of those contracts stacked up, they don't have the resources to do that. So they're saying let's trade him. Their suggestion was for the Lions a 2nd and 3rd rounder. Well, in this video, I went ahead and traded Trey Hendrickson to the Bears and gave him a 3-year extension, $90 million. So 30, and that's going to be his market value. Well, what did that cost us, you might ask? Well, we swapped down from 17 to 10. So they came up, and that's roughly a 2nd-round value. We also gave them a 3rd. Our comp pick we get for Ian Cunningham. Is that going to happen? Who knows? We'll find out. And then we swapped them DeMarcus Walker as well. Gets him off of our books, which he's not a bad contract. It's only going to cost us $5-ish million to be able to keep him. So to swap him, we lose a little bit there in depth, but we can pick up in this draft because we're not giving away extra draft picks to have to do so. And then we get Trey Hendrickson and we extend him. So that was the basis of this video. I'm going to go through quickly because I already did it earlier. I don't want to be too redundant for you guys, but I'm going to go through. If we went this route, and if you're going running back early, you really need to shore up the offensive line in free agency. And so there's some options here. We're not going to be able to sign Trey Smith. He might not sign anywhere but Kansas City anyways. So I'm going to keep Tevin Jenkins, and that was another focus of this video. A lot of fans are crapping on Tevin Jenkins. I don't get it because when he's healthy, he's a top 5 in the league. And then the value they're saying is going to be around 12, 13, 14 million a year. That's a value contract for someone who gives us 65% of the snaps. Then if he stays healthy, he's going to go. It's going to overplay that contract. He's going to be a value contract. The typical thing that's going to happen though is Bears fans are going to run our best players out of the building, out of Hallis Hall, and then he's going to go play 100% snaps. He's going to have Coleman Shelton durability and miss 0 snaps all year for somebody else who signs him, especially in a class where there's not that many free agents that are going to be rim rockers or game changers or team. Anyways. So what I did in free agency, because a lot of you guys like to see Drew Dahlman on this team. I'm still a fan of Coleman Shelton staying with the team, but Drew Dahlman is younger, more muscular build, probably just needs more technique. On the run game, he's absolutely probably the best center in the entire league. He had the ankle injury last year, but seems like he's going to be better. For a backup guard, because we're trying to get a little bit of value here, we're going to take Tristan Colon from the Arizona Cardinals. If you haven't looked into him, he's a very valuable backup. So I would take him over Matt Pryor, in my opinion. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Kevin Zeitler, 2-year, $16 million contract, $8 million a year, and we're going to take Trent Brown for right tackle backup. This one's not necessarily. I'm just trying to get some depth before we hit the draft. So, okay, other moves we made in free agency. This is a quick condensed version of that video because I'm going to take that video down now. Because the audio was just so terrible. Again, I apologize for that. So 3 years, $7.5 million, run block, or he's a pass blocking pro at the tight end position. So we're going to go ahead and take Luke Farrell. I do that a lot in these mocks. I don't know if the Bears are even on the radar. If Ryan Poles, if you're listening to my videos, which I doubt you are, but if you somehow get wind of them, look at Luke Farrell. Really good option for a tight end 3. Way better than Mercedes Lewis was, I'll tell you that much. Okay, since we're running through this, I'm not going to go position by position and group by group. Just going to tell you what we did. So we're going to allocate. If you watch my other draft video, here's the value that we really have right now for actual salary cap, $73 million. After we get our draft picks and practice squads signed, or allocate for them, because that's going to happen, it's $18 million. We're going to cut Ryan Bates, Noah Sewell, Gerald Everett, and Dominique Robinson. Try to trade those guys if we can. I just don't see that happening. So we're going to cut them. That's going to save us $11.5 million. We're going to trade Zach Pickens. I think with his value where he was, with how highly regarded he was in the draft, 3rd-round pick, 2 years left on his contract, I think someone will trade us a 6th-rounder for him. So we're going to trade Zach Pickens. DeMarcus Walker goes out in the Trey Hendrickson deal, and in comes Trey Hendrickson. That costs us a net $12 million because Hendrickson still is on a value for his contract, but we are going to extend him, give him a little bit of money this year, and then really it's going to cost us $30 million the next couple of years. But for the level of play, guys, it's not that easy to find a top 5 defensive end, a game wrecker. And if you can get Montez Sweat, Trey Hendrickson, a really beastly nose tackle, and Gervon Dexter creating the pressure from the 3-tech, and you collapse that pocket, you get 100 sacks a year. That's an exaggeration. I know, before any of you jump down my throat, that's an exaggeration. But if you can get that, it's going to change. I mean, the defense would be glory days. It would be true monsters of the Midway. Anyways, re-signings. We're going to re-sign Tevin Jenkins, Bill Murray on a exclusive right free agency, so $1,030,000. Daniel Hardy, same thing. Jonathan Ford, same thing. These are exclusive rights, so I'm going to take them because they're value when we're trying to build a beastly roster. When these are second, third stringers down on the roster. Jack Sanborn, we're going to match his restricted free agent offer, roughly $4 million. Josh Blackwell, Jalen Jones, and Amen Ogbongbemiga, we're going to get for value deals. Those three, Jack Sanborn, Josh Blackwell, and Jalen Jones, are all restricted free agents, so we can match their offers. Amen probably costs us $2-ish million. And then free agency, we're going to hit Drew Dahlman, which a lot of you guys want, Kevin Zeitler, which I think is a good option for someone who's not that old yet and playing really high-level ball, Luke Farrell, Tristan Cullen, and and Trent Brown. So nothing rim-rocking, nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, but we did get Trey Hendrickson and Drew Dahlman, which a lot of you should like, and that eats the salary cap, guys, when you look into that. And it wasn't that Trey Hendrickson was super expensive this year, because he's less than $20 million this year. Drew Dahlman's 11, but when you add all these things up and you're re-signing guys and you get Tevin Jenkins, it adds up. So I think a lot of people don't realize 73 minus 18, that's $55 million in spendable free agency and re-signings. By the time all that happens, you're not going to have 5 big-name free agents. You're going to have a couple, and then you got to hit the draft. All right, so for this one, this is the new thing that I put together. And I'll put this together before the draft. But as we've hit free agency, now these are our needs. We don't have all those offensive line needs for starters because we have our starters re-signed. I know some of you might not agree with that. I have as my top priority backup, guard and center. So I see the value of having to have backups, but we're not needing to have to hit them first, and that's how we can go for running back in first round. We picked up the extra 6th rounder. I'm going to say we traded with Seattle for Zach Pickens, and then the other picks are all what's set in stone for the Bears. So let's run through this draft real quick, and ends up being a little longer than I want to, but I wanted to record this over again because of the poor mic quality, and I appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe, and please comment so that you can be in the drawing for the free jersey. It's going to be fun to do that for you guys. All right, and we will run through this a little bit quicker. I'm just going to let it roll through all the draft picks. Number 1, Omarion Hampton. I know a lot of you might not agree with that. You might think Ashton Jenkins, and we'll say he goes either 6 to the Raiders or 12 to the Cowboys, and we go ahead and pick up Omarion Hampton at 17. Landon Jackson killed it at the Senior Bowl. I'm going to take him at 39. Deion Walker also did really well at the Senior Bowl. Huge nose tackle that can move. I love him. Second round pick, 41st overall, so we're going to take him. We're going to do a trade back here. This is a polls type of move, so we're going to trade back out of our 72nd pick to get 2 more picks so we can have some value here and be able to pick up an extra pick and be able to fill some needs. I like the idea of doing that. So I really like the way Elijah Arroyo played in the Senior Bowl as well. Now we've cut Gerald Everett. We pick up a developmental and also good from day one. Good hands by Arroyo as a tight end. And then Jonah Monheim, I thought, killed it at the Senior Bowl as well. Did a really good job. Pair him back up with Caleb Williams. And then Luke Kander we're going to take with our 5th round pick. Really good guard that I think is undervalued by a lot. So we're going to pick him up as a backup role to be able to develop as well. Savion Jones, who you can say that he is an edge, but you see right there, even on NFL Draft Buzz, they have him listed as versatile defensive lineman. So he can play 3-tech behind Gervon Dexter and learn and develop. He can also get kicked out to the edge if we need him. We won't need him in that position unless someone gets hurt with Montez Sweat. Now we've drafted Landon Jackson. And then you've got Trey Hendrickson on the other side and Austin Booker developing, so we won't need him there, but he can learn and develop behind. He's big, 280 pounds, 6'6". He can play 3-tech as well, so we're going to use him there. Savion Jones did really well in the Senior Bowl as well. All right, with our other 6th round pick, we're going to take Efton Chisholm, who was in the Shrine Bowl, and he did really, really well. His route running's crisp. You can see his stock has jumped right up there. So he's going to be sought after, a good 6th round pick. I'm going to take Jackson Woodard in the 7th round. With our first pick there, linebacker, learning, and, man, we really need to shift over. what we need to do is we need to shift over Jack Sanborn to middle linebacker and move out Tremaine Edmonds, and then have Jackson Woodard rotate in there and get some reps. But John Williams here, last one, 7th round, 240. He's going to be a backup tackle that can compete with Karan Amagaji. I don't see us drafting a tackle high. They're going to keep developing Karan Amagaji, but if you can find a late-round pick like this, John Williams, who did really well in the Shrine Bowl, did really well in practices, probably isn't going to go to the Combine, but in his pro day, he's going to be looked at really hard. He's going to be one of these late-round picks that can develop really well. Really good size and pass blocking really well in college, so I can see us taking someone like this late if we have the opportunity to. John Williams, I like him a lot. Now we're going to take an undrafted free agent here. Jimmy Horn Jr., who didn't do the best job at the Shrine Bowl either. Very quick, lightning quick speed, though. Very, very quick. And a lot of return ability, 4.34 speed. Can we use that? So we already took Efton Chisholm. That's more of your route runner. That's going to be your wide receiver 3. Now you got Jimmy Horn, who can come in and compete with the wide receiver group and be able to be our speedster and compete with the return ability as well. So that's what we've got for all the draft picks. And I appreciate all you guys for tuning in a second time. Didn't mean to do that with the mic, and I wanted to fix it because it was nasty. But here's how the draft rolled out with all the things that we had. So I did take Omarion Hampton in our first-round pick, and he is going to be a first-round pick. Trey Hendrickson might be a first-round pick. There might be more first-round running backs than a lot of people realize. I don't see the Bears doing that, but for the purpose of this, I do like to show you guys some different options. If Ashton Genty goes in the first round, and then Omarion Hampton, Trey Hendrickson could go in the first round, Caleb Johnson can go in the first round. There are teams that need running back. The Raiders could do it. The Cowboys could do it. The Chargers could do it. Late round picks up there. I mean, there's several teams at the very end of the first round who could do it. So there could be several that go. So here's what we ended up doing. We picked a running back. We picked a tight end. And for the offensive line, we picked a center, a guard, and an offensive tackle later. We took 2 wide receivers. We picked a nose tackle, a defensive end, and a linebacker, and a 3-tech. So we got a whole smorgasbord, but after the free agency we had, it really fit all together. So here's how the team looks after we pan it all out. On the offensive line, I don't hate this at all. And next year, you're going to be able to add to it as well because we have our first-round pick that I would assume we're taking at left tackle. And then you've still got Tevin Jenkins, Drew Dahlman, Kevin Zeitler with guys learning behind them. You've got 3 rookies right here that are all solid rookies to be able to develop with some great veteran presence intermixed in between there. So I actually really like this offensive line. Could it be better? Yeah, it could, but there's limited resources when you're using your draft picks and when you're using your available money to spend on people. So Omarion Hampton, I think, is huge. He absolutely has the ability to become an Adrian Peterson type of back. So I would be very happy with this pick. You got Efton Chisholm there. You got Jimmy Horn, and you've got Elijah Arroyo with Luke Farrell coming in as a blocking tight end, and none of these contracts will end this year or next year. So that would be a stacked room. As long as they all work out, you never know how they're going to work. They're opportunities, right? The draft is opportunities. So defensive line is severely improved. I mean, tremendously huge. Montez Sweat needs to have a breakout. Bounce back is a better word. Bounce back year. Trey Hendrickson on the other side with Jervon Dexter. They would all collapse the pocket. And then you got Deion Walker, who's one of the best run stuffers. He's not going to get you as many pressures, but he does move really well for a 345-pound big guy. You can still have on certain plays to get a little bit of pressure, who did really well. Andrew Billings did really well last year getting the pass rush, but he was absolutely horrible. One of the worst, lower than numbered 100 ranked at stopping the run, shedding blocks, depth of tackling. I'm not trashing on him. He's just a good rotational nose tackle. He shouldn't be the starter. Then you got a couple developmental rookies here. I shouldn't have put a circle around it. I should have put nothing around Austin Booker. I apologize for that. But both Landon Jackson and Savion Jones, good developmental players behind these guys. All these guys should be impact players on day one, though, but they can develop into really good players in the league. All right, Jackson Woodard there, re-signed Jack Sanborn, re-signed Josh Blackwell, and re-signed Jalen Jones. So that is the roster for our draft. So let me know what you guys think. I am excited about Eric Bieniemy. I know some of you guys might not be. We're not all going to agree on everything. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Comment on this one because we're going to do the jersey giveaway 1 month from now when free agency opens. Make yourself a part of that. Share it with your friends. Let them know too. And until next time, I appreciate you tuning in a second time. You don't have to do that, but I wanted to fix the mic. Mic's fixed. Sorry about that, guys. I'm taking the other one down. Till next time, thank you. We hit 10,000. That is awesome. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Dub Bears and bear down.